Hi everyone, it's your boy Robert here. Today is the third day of our holiday in Kunming, the capital city of the Yunnan province in China. Today we are visiting the Dianchi Lake and Xishan Mountain, and then we will head back home to Changsha the next day. I didn't realize at the time, but it is an international problem to feed seagulls crackers and bread. It isn't a part of their natural diet, which is mostly fish. Bread doesn't contain enough nourishment and causes health problems to the birds in the long run. Even worse, young baby birds learn this negative feeding behavior from their parents. Dianchi Lake, also called Dian Lake, is often referred to by Chinese people as the sparkling pearl embedded in a highland. The lake is open 24/7 and is free to visit. Dian Lake is a natural freshwater lake sitting at around 1,886 meters or 6,180 feet above sea level. The lake covers an area of 298 square kilometers or 115 square miles. The Dian Lake is the 8th largest lake in China with an average depth of around 4.4 meters or 14 feet and a maximum length of 39 kilometers or 24 miles. Pollution is a big problem for the lake. 90% of Kunming sewage and wastewater was disposed of in the lake until 1990 when the first wastewater plant was constructed. Additionally, during the Great Leap Forward between 1958 and 1960, much of the marsh system around the lake was filled in with soil in an attempt to raise rice production, destroying biodiversity and creating more agricultural runoff. Since the early 2000s, around 55% of the fish population has died due to the pollution, and currently the lake's water is graded 5, which is the lowest rank, making the water undrinkable. After seeing what the lake had to offer, it was time for lunch. I was really impressed by this restaurant's decor. For lunch we had lettuce soup topped with mushroom and egg. There was pork belly fried in brown sugar, and we also had the classic roast duck with cucumber and carrot. After lunch, we crossed the lake via a land bridge to visit Xishan Mountain. Now, Xishan is not just a mountain, but a forest park as well. We decided not to go into the park, but to just fly the drone. We were tired and the temperature was only 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit that day. On top of that, it was also misty with occasional drizzle. Not the best weather for Kunming. The park can be accessed via foot, coach, bus, private car or cable car. The Xishan Forest Park covers an area of 889 hectares or 2,200 acres. The highest peak, Mount Lawan, is around 2,507 meters or 8,225 feet above sea level. All peaks offer a spectacular view of Dianchi Lake. Xishan Forest Park offers several attractions such as the Dragon Gate, Sangqingge, Haoting Temple, Taihe Temple, and the Tomb of Nair, the composer of the Chinese national anthem and a native of Kunming. The Xishan Forest Park is open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Entrance fee, cable car and each attraction are charged separately. However, in total you'll pay around 115 RMB or 16 USD to see everything. The area you see before you now is called the West Mountain, where you'll find all the main tourist attractions. The park has a 4A tourism status and also offers hotel accommodation on West Side Mountain. The Dragon Gate Grotto is by far the most famous attraction in the park. What makes this place special is that all stone carvings, including the stairs, are done by hand. Haoting Temple is a Buddhist temple with more than 900 years of history. The complex houses a statue of Buddha, 500 statues of Arat and Arat pine trees with precious flowers. The temple was destroyed many times and the one you see now was renovated in 1923. The next day we had to take the high-speed train back to Changsha, but before that we had a typical Kunming breakfast from a local restaurant. For the rest of this video, I will only show footage of the landscapes from the train ride back home. To pass the time, I'll just talk a little bit more about Dianchi Lake and Xishan Mountain. Even with the lake's difficulties, it's still recognized as an eco-region. The lake used to be home to 25 native species and subspecies of fish, 10 of which were endemic to the basin. Unfortunately, the only endemic fish remaining is the Anabarilius albernops, which is also endangered. The only non-endemic native fish to still reside in the lake are the goldfish and Asian swamp eel. Currently there are more than 20 new alien species introduced to the lake. I guess only time will tell if this is good or bad. The first recorded history of the relationship between people and Lake Dian dates back to 200 BC, in which sedentary agricultural people settled the lake banks, establishing their own independent state of Dian. After 109 BC, the Dian state became a tributary to the Han dynasty. During the Yuan dynasty, aka Mongol dynasty, between 1279 and 1368 AD, the North Alluvian plain of the lake became intensively irrigated for agricultural use. Referring back to West Mountain of Xishan Forest Park, Taiyao Temple, located just below Haoting Temple, was built during the Yuan dynasty between 1271 and 1368. Even though the site's history isn't as old as Haoting Temple, the actual building of Taiyao Temple is. This is because it hasn't been rebuilt, technically making it the oldest building on the mountain. Taiyao Temple complex consists of two halls, Heavenly Kings and Mahavira Hall. The temple complex also has Misty Building and a waterside pavilion. Both Haoting and Taiyao Temple are surrounded by beautiful indigenous flowers, bamboo forests and trees. They both also offer spectacular views of Dianchi Lake. The high-speed train ride from Kunming to Changsha was one of the best train rides I've ever had. Seeing the sunset on the terraced fields was quite a treat. You can see the occasional reservoir or burial tomb to stop you from getting bored. Surprisingly, I didn't see too many factories. The agricultural industry in China is intensive subsistence instead of heavy commercial. This would explain the smaller dispersed fields you can see. You can't see it, but we went through many tunnels, at least 30, but many were very short. The landscape changed drastically as the sun set. You could see villages and hamlets developing around the sprawling hills. Anyway, that's all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.